All right, we're back with our NFL and college football recap show. It's just Grant and I today. Probably the best NFL weekend we've ever seen in our lives. I mean, every single game came down to a last minute score to win.
It was incredible, and the kickers were highlighted a ton, so that's good for all the people like Pat McAfee out there that love the kicking game. But no, it was just such a fun game. It almost feel like every game stacked on itself to make it more and more interesting to the finale between the Bills and the Chiefs. So such a fun weekend of football, man. Like we were blessed for sure to watch like those games. It was so much fun.
I mean, let's just start off with the first game of the weekend. Bengals somehow beat the Titans. The Titans choked that game away. And before we get into that, our teaser didn't hit. The over tease with the Bengals, it didn't hit. But I mean, the Bengals money line we knew was the right play.
Yeah, we knew the Bengals points was the right play for sure because we knew that it would shift so much. I mean, we talked about on the show, right? Like people would overreact to the fact that Derrick Henry would be playing, and we'd get some value on the Bengals side. We just
it moved up to 4.5.
Yeah, we just didn't know it'd be a full like they're going to win outright value, right? I mean, anytime you sack someone 9 times, and it should have been 10, but they got one called back, obviously, because of the delay game penalty. Anytime you sack a quarterback 9 times and you still lose, it's not on the defense. That's all I'm going to say. So, I mean, they're going to have to take a hard look at Ryan Tannehill in that, and what they want to do with their future there.
That's the crazy thing. There's like 7 to 8 teams right now that are in this situation. Like, okay, our team is actually good. Everything around our team is amazing, except our quarterback just can't take us to the Super Bowl. Like the Colts, the Titans. I even think the Vikings aren't quite where the Colts and Titans are, but I think if they had a good quarterback, they could be a Super Bowl contender. The Steelers are a perfect example. Even the 49ers, even so, no, I don't know how they're in the NFC Championship game, but I'm loving it.
Yeah, and the Eagles. We talked about that last week as well,
Eagles
right?
too. I don't know if they're Super Bowl contender, but I mean, it's hard to say they aren't when they made the playoffs this year.
Exactly. No, you're 100% right. And so it's interesting because at the end of the day, man, like everyone comes back to the old saying of like, without the best player on the field, the quarterback taken care of. Like it doesn't really matter what you stack up against it, right? It's why the Bucs went from like a non-contender to actually a Super Bowl contender within 1 year because of Tom Brady.
Think about the Bengals. The Bengals were awful, and then they still didn't. They barely improved their O-line from last year. Just because they got Joe Burrow in the draft, they're in the AFC Championship game, 1 win away from being in the Super Bowl, from being a 4-12 team.
Which is insane, right? Like to think about the Bengals, man. Like the Bengals are literally a game away, like you said, from being in the Super Bowl. That's nuts. No one would have put them there in this situation last year. And we talked about this last week of like everyone's just kind of rooting for him, man. It's fun to root for him, and like I know we have some Tennessee Titan fans here, but like, man, like it was fun to root for him and just see them win the game and like see what happens. Like obviously they got to play the Chiefs, so that's not a great matchup for them. And the line I think is already a touchdown, so. Like,
I mean, but they beat the Chiefs already this year, too.
True. I mean, so did the Bills in Arrowhead this year. They dominated them, and then the Chiefs went straight up. So, I mean, it is what it is. But, man, like, it's fun. It's fun, man. They're like America's team this year, I feel like they're America's team other than probably them. And then the NFC is probably the Niners.
Yeah, but back to that game real quick. I mean, it was kind of a weird game, kind of ugly. I mean, 9 sacks. You got 9 sacks, and you still did not win that game.
And the crazy thing is, as much as I love Joey B, like he literally took him out of field goal range so many times, running backwards. Like I swear, I think his sack, like he would lose 20 to 30 yards each sack because he just kept running back trying to get out of it, and it was not working for him. So he took himself out of field goal. It's like they even won with him taking himself out of field goal range multiple times as well. So, he's gonna get better at that. Again, that line is awful. So like. It's unfortunate. I honestly don't think the pass rush is going to be as good against the Chiefs. Aren't going to be a better pass rush from what they faced with the Titans. I don't think so, right? Like, so I mean, it's going to have to be a kind of like a reminiscent of the Bills game, where it's going to be a ton of points. Like Joey B's got to keep up pace with Patrick Mahomes. It's the only way they're going to be in that game.
Dylan mentioned this. I think he tweeted it out the other day. If you're the Titans, how much are you willing to give up for Russell Wilson? Because I think Russell Wilson makes them a very big Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, that's a good fit.
because I think the Westbrook, not him, Russell Wilson sweepstakes is just getting bigger and bigger because you have these teams that are just a quarterback away, that just are one quarterback away from being a legit Super Bowl team, like the Titans, like all those teams I mentioned before, the Steelers. And I think these teams are just going to mortgage everything, like we saw with the Rams. The Rams mortgaged everything to be in the position they are right now, and I think these teams are going to do it again this following year. Someone like the Titans or the Steelers to do that.
I think you're right. And like the team that does get him, they'll be in contention, right? It'd be kind of fun to be him, to go from such a terrible team to like an actual contender within 1 year, right? Just like Brady did. It's just interesting, man. Like I do think that's a good natural fit there. Like you said, the Steelers would be a good natural fit. Great defense, right? You got some good stuff. You got some good pieces around you. I mean, the Titans are just a natural fit because your running game would be so good. Russell Wilson extending plays with his legs would just be dynamic. It would be super dynamic with Derrick Henry and that receiving core. So, I mean, if he wants to win a Super Bowl, probably the Titans are the best option like of those teams, because I think they have more pieces in place than Denver does, even though Denver has a really good defense and things like that, than even, like you said, like the Steelers. So like that would make a lot of sense to me for sure.
All right, enough on the Bengals-Titans game. Man, I can't believe. I mean, the Bengals are in the AFC Championship game. That's wild. Let's move on to Saturday night's game. Cold weather, 49ers somehow pulled off, again, I don't know how, 13-10 over the Packers. I mean,
I'll give a little story. So I was just in Murphy, North Carolina, where Cherokee is, right? One of the Harrah's, Caesars connection casinos is. I'm sitting down the sports book, talking with some people, making new friends. It's almost like a camaraderie. It's hilarious, but when people sports bet, it's like a brotherhood. It's weird. It's hard to describe, but people are just chill with each other. So I'm talking to this random guy from Tennessee, and he's just blast and I'm just sitting there. Who am I going to play, right? Because I'm going back and forth. I'm like, it has to be the Packers. It has to be the Packers. And he's like, all my buddies are saying, bet the house on Green Bay, bet the house on Green Bay. And because of that, I was like, I can't do it, man. Everyone is on Green Bay. Everyone's hammering Green Bay. I literally am going the opposite way. Obviously, the teaser I had on with the Bengals and 49ers, that was my biggest play this past week, which obviously hit because they both went out right. But getting the Niners plus 12.5 when I was hearing like bet the house on Green Bay just felt so good. Even when I was watching the first half of like just complete ineptitude within the 49ers offense, right? But obviously it just goes to show like these lines, man, like it's never as easy or as hard as you think it is. Like it's always like never each side, right? And it was just interesting to watch how much money was pouring in on Green Bay, and just knowing that like it's not gonna be that simple. Like that 5.5 line is a weird line, and like it's not gonna be that simple. I thought Green Bay would win, but on a close one for sure.
If the weather was if there was no snow and the weather was fine, Green Bay wins that game 9 out of 10 times.
Isn't that funny though? Isn't that funny? Because they were talking about how much of an advantage that is for Green Bay. But really, at the end of the day, with the block punt for a touchdown, all that actually ended
in
up
the running game for the Niners.
Yeah, and think about this: a missed field goal, like block field goal right before half. Like so many things had to happen. I think the weather played a massive factor in that, which actually benefited San Fran when everyone thought automatically that would benefit the Green Bay Packers, which is super interesting.
Yeah. Shout out Brian once again. Every week we have to shout him out because the Niners are still alive. I wanted to ask you this. Are they the team of destiny in this playoffs? It seems like the Bengals probably are, but I feel like the Niners can play that off too. Kind of like the Braves. I think the Braves were the obvious team of destiny in baseball. They win it. I think the Niners are too.
It's hard to argue against it, right? Like I know how you argue against it at this point.
Like they got far into the playoffs. I mean, they made it to the Super Bowl, lost. The Braves made it to the World Series and lost, or not the World Series, the whatever it's called in baseball. I hate baseball.
Yeah, are you talking about the World Series, or are you talking about the NLCS?
NLCS.
Yeah, the NLCS.
They made it to the NLCS and blew that lead. When they lost
the Dodgers. Yeah.
Yeah, and then 49ers made it to the Super Bowl, blew that lead. It's got little parallels there.
It does. Look, I have no problem with the Niners going. It's interesting to me that, I mean, Jimmy G, bro, there's no reason why he should have won that game, but he did. And it is what it is, man. Like, they did enough as a whole team. Because I was telling that to the guy I was sitting next to. I was like, look, man, at the end of the day, the Niners have a better team than Green Bay. And he's like, what? And I was like, they do. They have a better overall team. I was like, they don't have the best player. Obviously, that's Aaron Rodgers. But, like, they definitely have the best team. Like special teams, defense, everything involved. And by the way, Fred Warner, shout out to our boy Fred
Dude,
Warner.
he
Holy
balled out
hell.
in that game.
He was incredible. He was everywhere. He single-handedly kept them in that game for the 3 quarters that they needed to then do the weird stuff that happened at the end, right? Like, if it wasn't for him, that game would have been over. So
1,000%.
shout out to our boy Fred Warner. He was an actual game-changing player, like all game. It was incredible. So yeah, man, like shout out to Fred Warner, balling out, BYU alum. It was awesome, man. It was awesome to watch. It was awesome to watch him just like dominate that game. But it's just interesting, man. Like that shows you how good of a coach. Like we talked about this. Like Shanahan is a good coach, man. Like, yeah, if you get 6 points from your offense and you win that game, that's pretty impressive. Like people were questioning his like ability to coach. I know some guys on my end too that I talk to daily were questioning his ability. I like him, man.
The things I would do for Kyle Shanahan to be the Panthers coach.
Yeah, exactly. Like his only kryptonite is in the Super Bowl. That's when he blows leads. With the Falcons, he blew the lead as offensive coordinator, and obviously as the San Fran, he blew it against the Chiefs. So, look, if he can get that down, if he can get that, the one gap is back and win that game, that would be. I mean, this would be one of the most incredible playoff runs of all time. But I mean, what a fun weekend of football. But yeah, let's go back to the 49ers game. Like incredible game all around. Just watching those guys like win the game with literally 6 offensive points is still baffling me to this day. But they could, I mean, bro, it's hard to argue against them as the team of death. It really is.
Also, Robbie Gould hitting the revenge kick against the Packers.
True.
A lot of revenge kicks this week. Matt Gay against the Buccaneers. But let's I'm done talking about that game. I mean, let's go Niners. But Aaron Rodgers is gone. That press conference, you could just see he's all right. That's it.
I mean, he knew it though. Him and Devontae Adams knew that like this was it with the Packers. And like, it felt like that was pretty known across the board, right? Before we say where we think, I guess Aaron Rodgers lands, is Jordan Love the answer for the Packers? Like, is that just a known like a thing? Is that what they're rolling with?
See, people are down on him because the few games he came in, he was just kind of below average. They still like stayed in games, but like he didn't do anything. That's a weird spot for him. I mean, I don't think he's the answer, but you have to roll with him. I mean, he's been in your system for 2 years now.
Yes, and you used a very high pick on him too. Yeah,
you just have to roll with him and see how it goes. That's going to be a very, very weird situation in Green Bay. I mean, I don't know what they do because they have no cap space. They have to get rid of guys.
To be honest, I'm kind of annoyed with Green Bay, and like I'm not even a fan of that team. But just because like they kept drafting future prospects when they literally had one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Like if they just give him another weapon at 15 instead of Jordan Love, or another defensive player that could have been a game changer for him at 15 instead of Jordan Love. Again, I don't remember 2 years ago what players were in that top 10 to 15 range, but like I guarantee you they could have found some type of weapon on the offensive side or defensive side rather than having quarterback sit behind for 2 years.
Was that the 2020 draft?
I believe so. Well, I think it was 2019.
If it was 2020, then it could have been.
Or maybe it was 2020.
If it was 2020, that could have been Justin Jefferson.
So I'm saying, man, all I'm saying is like, look, I think they really screwed the pooch on that one. And like, I think they could have definitely have used a weapon for the past 2 seasons on somebody, right? Like you're seeing what some of these like dynamic wide receivers can do. Imagine if he didn't just have Devontae Adams and had another dynamic receiver on the other side, or again, another defensive player to not lose these games, right? So I don't know. I'm just kind of annoyed with the Packers and the fact that like I feel like they wasted. They could have got another Super Bowl with Rodgers had they drafted correctly, but they kept like to spite him or something. I don't know. It was weird. It was just a weird dynamic there. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I mean I don't really care. I don't like the Packers at all. I can't stand the Packers if I'm being honest. But let's talk about where Aaron Rodgers is going. I think the Steelers are the perfect fit for him.
Even though he wants to be in warm weather?
The best warm weather he's probably getting, like in the best situation, would be maybe San Fran or Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee with him would be automatic Super Bowl favorites. San Fran would be interesting.
Everyone's going to make the Tennessee joke because Tennessee, red state, Aaron Rodgers. whole vaccine crap going on. I feel like people are going to make that parallel.
It's true. They probably will. I mean, I would love to see him, like you said, on Tennessee. I'd love to see him on the Steelers. I'd love to see him on personally, I'd love to see him on the Falcons, bro. If we just mortgage the house for him, we never would. We don't have enough assets, I don't think, to get Aaron Rodgers, but it'd be great.
Yeah, but warm weather wise, I mean, he's not going to Jacksonville. He's not going to Tampa Bay with their situation. He's Miami, maybe. I
could see Miami being a play, and maybe that's I think they've been on this Deshaun Watson train for such a long time. Like they're trying to get however they can get Deshaun Watson. They're dying for that play.
The Cowboys, no. Houston, no, they're terrible. Vegas, there, I don't think Vegas is going to go away from Carr.
Yeah, that could be an interesting one, though. I could see them shipping, Carr for that. I mean, anyone would, basically, right? Like, yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's
the warm weather places are not ideal right now.
Yeah, they're not great.
Carolina's a great spot. You have 0.3 seconds to throw the ball.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm also interested to see where Devontae Adams goes. Like, if they're trying to go together, there's no way a team could afford both of them in the same year. It'd be insane.
I doubt it. I see Devontae Adams taking a fat contract somewhere, just random.
I think he just wants to get paid. Like, I could totally see him going to the Jets or something like that, or like just some crappy team that like has a ton of cap space and is like, we'll give it to him. You know what I'm saying?
I could 1,000% see him going to the Eagles and getting a ridiculous contract.
Yeah, that one also makes sense too. That would totally make sense. Yeah.
But it's kind of weird. And then everyone makes the Denver parallel. I just don't see Denver.
For Rodgers or for
for Rodgers.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I think that'd be kind of interesting. I could see it. I don't see why are you against it?
Because I don't think they're as like close as people think they are. Because I think if you look at, say, if you threw Teddy Bridgewater on the Packers this past year, I think they're doing about the same job as the Broncos did, maybe.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, this Broncos team is primed and ready. All they need is a quarterback and we'll take them to the next level. And I really don't think that's the case.
I mean, I definitely think that's the case over teams like
I think it's like over
Miami.
teams like Miami, but I don't think it's teams like Tennessee or Pittsburgh, which are way better opportunities.
No, yeah, like I agree. Like if he goes to one of those two teams, automatic Super Bowl contenders like within year one, like automatically. I agree with that.
I just don't see how you can say no to Mike Tomlin or Mike Vrabel, who have great coaches. Broncos don't even have their coach.
True. Yeah. I could see a fit of Mike Tomlin, bro. I could see it. I could see that. They have enough pieces there where it makes sense. And like, I could see him drafting another receiver for him. Like, I could see it.
They already have a great receiving core too.
They do. They really do.
They just need to build that O-line a little more. And maybe on the defense, because like I said on like a couple weeks ago, I thought the defense was a little kind of like fake good, but
yeah.
But all right, let's move on to Sunday's game. Rams literally almost choked. That would have been one of the worst chokes besides Atlanta in the Super Bowl.
It really would have been.
It was 27-6, correct?
Yeah. A buddy of mine texted me during the game. He's like, "Do you think the Bucs have any chance coming back?" And I was like, "With Brady, of course they do, bro. Like, as long as Brady's on the team, I will never doubt that they can make a comeback ever. I will never doubt that. Like, why would I?" I was like, "You're talking to an Atlanta Falcons fan. I've literally seen it firsthand." And he almost did it, bro. They almost did it. But it's cool for Stafford, man. Him and Cooper Kupp with that connection at the end, like, that was dope. That was dope. It was well-deserved. Like, this is the team that, like, I'm rooting hard for Stafford, man. I like that guy.
I'll say this. As long as Stafford is healthy, I think the Rams should be the Super Bowl favorite right now, even over the Chiefs.
It's pretty damn close, yeah. Like, it's either Chiefs or Rams right now for sure. Like, you'd have to think they have the easy, like, it's almost a like Sharpie point at this point. Like, the teams are playing Chiefs versus like Rams. Like, you're almost guaranteeing that.
It's weird for me to say this, but I do feel like if the Rams can get past the Niners, I feel like the Niners are the worst team for the Rams to play against, just because that D-line of the Rams is so good, and the offensive line for the Chiefs and Bengals isn't as good. We saw that in the Buccaneers game. Tristan Wirfs was out for the Buccaneers, and we saw how much pressure Donald was getting to Brady.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard for me to choose against the Rams if they can get past the Niners, which I do think they do, personally. I think the team of destiny ends there. But, like, I think it'd be hard for me to go against the Rams if it's Rams-Chiefs. Like you said, like, they're going to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes when we saw what happened with him last year against the Bucs. It was not good.
No, but also never count out Patrick Mahomes. But let's go back to the game real quick. The 27-6. I was watching the game. I had to go. I had some oblos I had to go do. Come back. I walk in the house. Leonard Fournette's running in a touchdown to tie the game. I was like, what did I miss? I left at 27-6. I walk in. It's 27-27. I'm like, Rams +3 was in jeopardy. It was in big jeopardy.
It was incredible, man. It's like Brady has like this like innate, I don't know what it is, like lucky, like stuff just happens. Like, of course, he's the GOAT. No one's disputing that. But like, for sure, stuff is happening where it keeps them in the game. Because like they had multiple fumbles, weird like turnovers that were not normal that like were able to keep them in the game to where he was able to make like, you know, a couple quick touchdowns and get it back in. Like, it was just weird, man. Like that game was like on crack for a while.
Every game was on crack this weekend.
I mean, dude, we'll get to the Bills game, but yeah, that dude, it's just wild to see like how many times
the best receiver is open. How many times? Why is the best receiver always open at the end of these games? At the end of all these games, the best receiver was wide open. Deebo Samuel makes the biggest plays, and then Jamar Chase with that huge first down to get him in field goal range. Cooper Kupp with the freaking like 50-yard bomb wide open. And then Tyreek Hill with that crazy run at the end, and Travis Kelce as well.
Yeah, I mean, you go to your guy.
Leave Mecole Hardman alone. He'll probably drop the ball.
You go to the guys, man. You go to your dudes. And like honestly, like what Tyreek Hill did, those coverage was like as good as you can get, bro. Like he literally caught the ball just out and like just the route was perfect. Like there's nothing that guy could do. So, I mean, let's finish up here on the Bucs game. But like, bro, at the end of the day, man, the Patriots fans, I feel bad for them because they're gonna be expecting all these like comebacks that they're used to with Brady. That dude's one of a kind, man. Like watching him play, I was like, damn, this is so impressive. But he just continues to do it. It does not matter the loss. And it's almost like the belief system is so ingrained in these teams' mind that like Brady's done this a million times, that like that belief system within the team at the end of the games, they never feel like they're out of it no matter how much they're down. It's weird. But like other teams don't get that same boost like they do. Because they're like, bro, we have Tom Brady. Doesn't matter if we're down 3 touchdowns. Like we can still win this game. It's crazy to me. It's insane.
People think he's going to retire. I didn't see any sign of retiring at all. I don't know what the cap situation and all that is with the Bucs and who's coming back and stuff like that. But at the bare minimum, as we learned just like 30 minutes before we started this podcast, we're recording at like 3:00 Eastern on Tuesday. Sean Payton's gone. The Saints are toast for the next 5 years. The Panthers are terrible. The Falcons are terrible. The NFC East is back, or the AFC. The Pats, Bills, Dolphins, and Jets. It's the same thing. Like Brady just got it back.
Yep. Yeah, he literally went to the all-time like worst division, and like now he just gets to coast in that crap again. Like it makes no sense to me. So if he stays, he's got basically an automatic ticket to the playoffs.
All they have to do is win 9 to 10 games.
Yep.
Like they do not need. They can go 9-8 and they will make the playoffs in the NFC South next year.
Literally nothing special, and they'll be there. It's insane.
Like he could load manage next year.
Yeah,
he'd be like week 5 and be like, nah, not feeling it. They have a good D line. I don't want to get hurt.
It's so true. Yeah.
But I mean, he's not going. I feel like it's Tampa Bay or he retires, right?
I think so. I mean,
unless he was like, hey, Mike Vrabel, I'll come.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. If you went to the Titans, you're like, oh, damn, bro.
Because, like, the Titans, like, it sucks they were the 1 seed and they lost, like, to the Bengals and all that. The Titans are sneaky in a great position because if they are super attractive to get a quarterback right now.
Yes.
Also, no state income tax in Tennessee.
Ooh, interesting.
I like Brady it. May have gone down to Florida.
Yes.
Mike Vrabel, ex-Pats guy.
It's true, bro. I mean, I love it. I love the match. I just want to see the Titans get one of the three, right? Russell Wilson,
Rodgers or
Aaron
Brady.
Rodgers, or Brady. Like one of those three guys for sure.
Yeah, but that Rams Bucks game, that was stupid. Especially if anybody was on Bucks or Rams +3, that was just ridiculous that you had to sweat that out.
You were sweating big time, bro. Like people, yeah, they were.
I mean,
sweating.
you thought it was dead. Like when you saw Leonard Fournette walking in the end zone, you're like, all right,
Yep.
I can't
Yeah,
believe it. Like, what did I do to deserve this?
Overtime went for the Bucks. That's what everyone thought. Like it's over.
But real quick, Sean Payton retired earlier. Taysom Hill's never playing quarterback ever again in the National Football League. I think his days are done. Because he has like that fake contract where it's like it's 4 years, $300 million, but he has to win Super Bowl MVP to get 150 of it.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of incentive based, like quarterback incentive based stuff.
Yeah.
So like if you have to play quarterback, it's like you're basically not getting paid any of that. So yeah, it's definitely a weird contract. Sean Payton was just like, look, bro, like I think he saw the writing on the wall and was like, nah, man, like I don't think we're gonna be good for another 5 years. I don't want to be a part of this.
And yeah, and Brian said it first, and like when you have Trevor Siemian or whoever their quarterback was, Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, when you're calling these perfect and beautiful play calls and they're just overthrowing guys, underthrowing guys, throwing picks, when it's just the perfect play, guys wide open, and they just don't have receivers or a quarterback.
It's sad, bro. It's sad to see what they are, and like I think they're gonna be struggling for a while. It's gonna be rough. And like you said, I don't see Taysom Hill winning the starting job over, Jameis Winston or anybody else really, like for the immediate future. So I don't know. What do they do? Completely scrape and rebuild, just like sell off everybody? You know what I'm saying?
I think that's what you have to do. I think there's a lot of teams in that, not a lot. I think there's a few teams in that position right now. I think the Seahawks are in that position as well. I think they need to cut bait with a lot.
Yes, they
just
really
go big time into the draft. Get Russell Wilson out of there. Maybe even like a Tyler Lockett as well.
Mm-hmm.
Keep DK Metcalf.
Well, it sounds like they're getting rid of DK Metcalf.
Either way, just trade everything and just start from scratch all over again. Saints have got to do the same thing. Get rid of Cam Jordan, Alvin Kamara. Every good thing you have, you just got to trade it at this point.
Yeah, you got to mortgage for your future, man. Like you got to flip now at this point. And that's the thing is like all these teams like love to wait when they have no actual chance of like winning a Super Bowl. And I get it, man. Like you can't just like tank every year because then like you're not going to have any ticket sales or anything like that. But like, bro, like, do they really think they're going to win a Super Bowl with James Winston? Or like, when Taysom Hill comes in, like I love Taysom, but like, man, like you guys had no shot with either of the two. Even with your team, like even with Michael Thomas back, they still had no shot, like zero shot of actually being any Super Bowl contender. It is what it is, man.
Yeah, there's going to be like random quarterbacks that are just going to get way too good of opportunities. Like you'll see like Drew Lock in New Orleans play a few good games where he'll get paid just outrageous money just to be a placeholder for a tanking team for a few years.
100%. Yeah, that's probably exactly what it is. So, I mean, bro, when it comes down to these, like, these players and stuff, the Saints are gonna have mad issues. Like we know that, and like you said, if Brady just comes back with like a little bit of what they had, they should be chilling. The Bucs are gonna be that team this year again.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think like I mentioned before we started, I do think Gronk is gone though.
Yeah, and like I said, they're gonna lose a lot of people on defense and all that stuff. But dude, let's talk about the game of the week, bro.
Yeah, we're done with the Rams Bucks game of the week. I'll just say it right now. I always thought Rams Chiefs, that Monday night game, was the best game I've ever watched. Unbelievable. This was easily the best game I've ever watched. 100%. I mean, you just got to think, for 4 minutes of real game time, what we saw was unbelievable. Gabriel Davis had 200 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Dude.
And they still did not win.
That game, man. That game, I feel so, okay. My take is this. I feel really bad for all the Bills fans out there. I feel really bad for you because, like, your kryptonite has been the Chiefs. It is what it is. I'm calling it what it is in the playoffs. You'll keep losing the Chiefs. And, like, that's not something to be to be pissed off about. They're damn good. The Chiefs are that team, right? Like, you're losing to one of the most generationally talented and coached teams of all time. Like, it sucks, but like, you were right in there, punch for punch. And that was what I love so much about the game, is like, it had nothing to do with like the refs calling a weird call at the end of the game or like some BS, like, weird turn. It was just baller after baller play, like good football across the board. Like, obviously terrible coverage, but amazing football on offense. And like, that's what people want to see today. Like, it is what it is. Like, that's what we want to see. We want to see 13 seconds being too much time for Patrick Mahomes, which is insane. That guy could drive 2 plays.
seconds from the 25-yard line.
It spiked the ball with 3 seconds left to kick a tying field goal, bro, to give themselves a chance. Like, it was like pure, beautiful football. It was just amazing. Like, people were screaming, yelling, freaking out. Like, the amount of just like a pure bliss that moment was watching that game. Like, I literally wish you could watch that like game like over and over and over and over again. It was so good. It was so good.
Like, anybody, like, I feel like most people didn't really have a dog in the race. People are just like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And like, you were getting nervous for like every single play, even if you didn't have a team you were choosing. But shout out the game to go to overtime plus 1,000.
Oh, did you hit that?
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. We'll never know.
I love it. But I mean, look, like, I feel bad. I feel really, really bad for the Bills. And I feel really bad for Josh Allen because, like, again, he experienced what Patrick Mahomes experienced against the Patriots 2 years ago when he was on the sidelines and he watched Brady and not even get the ball and lose the game. He experienced that. And by the way, in 2019 or 2020, whatever it was, the Chiefs tried to petition to let both teams have the ball in overtime, and it was denied by the NFL. So I don't feel bad, man. Like, they tried then, they tried for this moment, and it would have benefited the Bills, but the league shot it down, man. Like, it is what it is. Like, Josh Allen experienced what Patrick Mahomes experienced a couple of years ago.
I think this was the game that possibly may change the rules. Maybe,
but I mean,
if this doesn't do it, the only way it'll happen is if I'm trying, like, if this doesn't do it, I don't know what will.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they want to change it, though, man. I don't think they want to have like 17 overtimes like they sometimes do in college, right? Where they have like 7 overtimes or 8 overtimes. I mean, I think it's dope. I think college overtime.
Why not? Why not?
I love it.
And like, that's the thing. Why not keep regular season? Just say, hey, regular season, we're gonna do the regular coin flip. If you score the touchdown, you win. That whole thing. But in the playoffs, why not do, hey, let's start at the 50, untimed clock, no clock, you just have a play clock, and let's just roll. College rules. And none of this college needs to get rid of the 2-point conversion crap. That's so stupid.
Wild. It's wild, bro. It is wild. But I agree with you, man. Like
let's go to 15 overtimes. Who's complaining?
Do you think they're not changing it because of like over unders and how much money like there is on overs normally and stuff like that?
I didn't think about that. That's actually a really good point.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Because for TV wise, it would make sense. But the money, someone told me the other day, I don't know if this is true. Again, conversations at the sports book in Murphy, North Carolina, that TV revenue is like $7 billion for these for the games, right? For the TV deal for the NFL. Mm-hmm. But sports betting alone worldwide is like 50-something billion a year on like games. So like
that's a good point.
So I almost wonder if they're like, I don't want them to have the chance, because normally, think about this, they normally set up for a field goal, especially if both teams have possession. That's what normally almost happens in almost every overtime game. Like, if you really think about it,
honestly, how many times have you like had the over, and when it goes to overtime, it hasn't hit? You're like, oh, it still can't hit even if it goes to overtime because I need 7 points and the max I can get is 6. Or I guess you could get 12 with the 2 field goals and a touchdown, but.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm telling you, I think it has more to do with the money that comes in on overs than anything else, because it doesn't make sense for a viewership standpoint. Why wouldn't you want to have more like revenue dollars like coming in for like, more commercials? But I'm telling you, I think it has to do with the overs. Like, that's just my weird conspiracy take, but I think it's pretty accurate.
See, the NFL knows me too, because I don't do unders.
Yeah, most people don't do unders. Most people do overs, right?
If I'm watching, I'm not doing an under.
Exactly. But think about how many times, I mean, obviously people bet unders, but like, for sure the public overall bets way more overs than unders.
Absolutely. Especially in a Chiefs-Bills game.
Exactly. Think about that. If it was close, obviously that one hit, during the game. But I'm saying, like, normally, those overs, man, they don't hit. And if you gave them like 4 or 5 possessions each, like of course it's going to hit. Especially if they're starting like the 25.
Mm-hmm.
No question.
So back to Chiefs Bills. And people are saying like, oh, this is going to be the matchup and all this. This does feel like it's kind of like those old Pats Colts rivalries where the Chiefs are the Pats and the Colts are the Bills.
I think we found our generation of like quarterbacks, man. Like, you know, like the previous generations had like, you know, all those dudes. I guess Brady is.
It does kind of feel like that.
But I feel like we found our dudes like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, like Justin Herbert, Joey Burrow. Like, it's fun, man. There's a lot of young.
You're ready to put Zach Wilson in that conversation?
Of young talent, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they're like, you know, all world beaters, but I'm saying. I'm
kidding, dude. Nobody has more Zach Wilson stock than this podcast.
That's true, bro. We own a lot of it. We're for sure majority like shareholders of the Zach Wilson stock.
Literally 69% shareholders in the Zach Wilson.
For sure. I think we do.
Nobody's even
fun,
close,
man. It's fun. Like we have a ton of these quarterbacks out there, and I guess you can even put Deshaun Watson in there too, because like.
If he clears all this like legal stuff.
Yeah, like there's a ton of there's absolute playmakers and ballers in the league, and I think it's only gonna get better. So I think we found our generation of like just like quarterback battles that are gonna be just so much fun to watch. Like so much fun to watch. I'm excited for it.
Watching that game, everybody's like, "Oh, Pat Mahomes, he's not all there." Like Josh Allen's a little better. Pat Mahomes can sometimes make stupid throws or tries to be too flashy. Pat Mahomes is easily, no doubt, the best quarterback in the NFL. And he's not
QB1, bro.
It's QB1, and it's by a decent bit. I'm not saying it's by a mile, but he's QB1, and he is incredible.
The things he's doing with the kind of like, you know, it's hard to say. Both of them have amazing weapons, right? But the throws and some of the kind of weight that he had to put on his shoulders to bring his team, like the meme that I saw on Twitter was like, you know, Patrick Mahomes like looking at his secondary celebrating the win, like just like super pissed off. Like that's literally what it is, bro. His defense is absolute trash, like absolute garbage, and he's straight up like carrying them to Super Bowls over Super Bowl. And to be honest, that year they lost to the Patriots. They should have gone if they're not offsides on defense. They should have gone to the Super Bowl. So like he should have gone to the Super Bowl basically every single year he's been quarterback. It's insane.
What would you do for your NFL team to go to 4 straight AFC/NFC title games? I would do for the Panthers just to make the daggum playoffs right now.
I know. And that's what I'm saying. Like the expectation, the weight that guy has, man, he just responds. It's super impressive. It really is super impressive. So he's QB1. Josh Allen's probably QB2 at this point. And like, I don't know how you can convince me otherwise that Patrick Mahomes is not QB1. I just don't like, I love Josh Allen. Of course I love Josh Allen, but dude, like the stuff that Patrick Mahomes was doing,
especially throws were unbelievable. Josh Allen had some remarkable throws too, like perfect in stride on the run.
It's just, this is what we would like. This is the, like you said, this is our Brady versus, you know, Manning. Like this is like that like generational like type talent. And I think to some extent it's even more impressive because I think they're both more naturally talented than those guys. Not Manning, but Brady. Yeah.
Here's a comparison: Is Joe Burrow just a better Eli Manning that's just gonna win 2 random Super Bowls with crap teams?
I think so, bro. That's a good comparison, dude. He is for sure better than Eli Manning.
He's way better. I think he's definitely way better than Eli Manning, but.
I think so. Like, bro, the dude's a baller, man. The dude's a baller.
Eli Manning was a baller. You can say whatever you want about him, but he was a baller.
Well, dude, Joey Burrow has swagger, man. Like that dude's got swag, and like you want to play for him. It makes no sense to me, but like the dude just like has confidence over. Like he's like, dude, I'm so sick of hearing that we're the underdogs. Like this is the standard. Like
he's
I'm
literally Andy Dufresne.
He's like, I'm coming into Cincinnati, this effing poverty franchise, and I'm gonna make it like the standard to go to the playoffs, and like I'm going to the AFC Championship, bro. Like it's insane to me. It's straight up insane to me. So like you can't count out Joey B, but at the end of the day, man, like they're going up against a straight juggernaut. Either one. If they had played the Bills, I'd be saying the same thing. They're going up against a juggernaut and the Chiefs. Like it's unfortunate. Like that to me, the Chiefs Bills game almost felt like the Super Bowl. Almost felt like the Georgia Bama SEC championship game. That's kind of what it felt like in pros, right?
Are you talking about the one like a couple years back when Tua scored the touchdown? Or are you talking about just like in general?
More recently, a couple of the SEC championship games they've had were like that basically is the national title, right?
Yeah.
Where like the SEC championship game, whoever wins that is probably going to win the Natty, and it felt like that between the Bills and the Chiefs.
It did feel like whoever wins this game is winning the Super Bowl, but even though I still like the Rams, and especially that also I don't know if it really necessarily matters, but the Rams are at home for the next 2 games if they win.
True. This is true. We'll see, man. Like I got to see how they play against the Niners, San Fran. But as of right now, I would definitely lean Chiefs are going to win another Super Bowl or Rams. Like it's got to be one of those 2 teams, right?
We'll get into that 1 second. Last thing on the Chiefs Bills game, Gabriel Davis literally murdered a dude on that move.
He really did.
Like, if you watch the replay in real time, you thought he just pushed off. You're like, oh, that was an offensive PI. No, that dude literally died on the field.
There's a dead body on the field for sure. Like it was embarrassing. He straight made him. He dropped him. He dropped him like it was like a step back 3. It was nasty. It was nasty, bro. He crossed his ankles, whatever you want to call it, bro. Like it was nasty. And for them to leave 13 seconds on the clock, I was like, it's literally over. There's no way in hell in my mind that they come back and get a field goal. And they literally did it. I don't know how that's possible.
Imagine someone who took the under in that game. What a loser. What a sad life you live if you took the under in Chiefs Bills.
Yeah, if there's anyone out there betting unders against the Chiefs Bills, you need to seek help. I don't even care if you think it's a top 5 defense. Like that's why. Like, I'm sorry, you need help.
Absolutely. All right, let's do a quick preview of the championship weekend games. Let's start off Chiefs-Bengals. The Chiefs, last time I checked, were a touchdown favorite. I'm going to double-check that just to make sure. But Chiefs-Bengals, it's in Arrowhead. It seems like the Chiefs might run away with this one.
That's what I'm saying. I want to bet the Bengals with points, but I can't do it. If I'm going to take that game, I would for sure tease the hell out of that line and just take basically the Chiefs money line on that play.
All right, little preview for the other one too. The Rams, let me get the correct lines. So Rams are -3.5. Okay, so Big Cat has his teaser of the year. You can tease the Chiefs down to -0.5, and you can take the Niners at +10.
Eesh.
You think the Rams will win by more than 10?
Bro, look, I teased the Niners last week because I trust the process. I think this is a week where you tease both favorites and live with the consequences of that. I really do. Because both teams have a massive potential to just absolutely lay the hammer on each of these teams. How can you watch the 49ers score 6 offensive points and not think that they can get absolutely just like demolished?
But I've seen them beat the Rams twice this year.
I know, but dude, it's different. It's different in the playoffs. You know it is.
Okay. But back to the Bengals-Chiefs game. Let's look, and the over-under is 54.5. I still kind of like that over.
The Bengals-Chiefs game?
Yes, Bengals-Chiefs is 54.5. Chiefs -7.
I'm gonna lock in my play. It's both favorite teasers. That's my thing. That's what I'm gonna go with. I'm not even gonna touch the over-unders in this game, at least in that game, because I see both teams scoring because the Chiefs defense is not great, but also that line is horrendous, bro. And I can see them having issues.
7's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points. That's why I don't want to take that straight up. But I love the Chiefs at home
because it could be. I mean, the game could literally be 30-17 with 2:30 left. You know the game's over, and the Bengals just go down and score a garbage touchdown and cover.
Yeah, it's true.
We both believe both favorites win, right?
There's too many dogs that won this week for me to think that it's going to carry over to this week as well. Plus, like, these teams are like the Bengals, as impressive as they've been, they have no business beating the Chiefs in a playoff game. Like, they just don't, right? As much as I want them to, I'd love for them to do it. I think it'd be dope. But I think 7 is it is a lot of points in a playoff game, but it sounds about right to me. So I would say this week is a favorite teaser. Last week I did all dogs, right? I did the Bengals and Niners, and both of those hit. I think this is a favorite teaser. That's my play of the week, is doing both favorites. That's gonna be my play of the week.
So if you parlay Chiefs money line and Rams money line, it's even odds.
Okay.
I feel like we're gonna get a lot of those this week.
Yeah, that's probably the play. Like something like that. That makes sense to me.
Let me see here. So Bengals, early sharp money's on the Bengals. I don't know if that'll stick though, because public's all over the Chiefs. I feel like that was a given.
Mm-hmm. I hate being with the public, but
I'm gonna go Chiefs with this one. I've gone Bengals. I've said the Bengals were gonna win each and every time.
Mm-hmm.
I think they lose on Sunday. I think the Chiefs just rout them. I think the Chiefs are ready to go back to another Super Bowl and revenge what happened last year.
Yeah, it's hard to bet against the Chiefs after what they just did against the Bills. And that was a very good defense too.
And the thing is, the Chiefs flat out did not get lucky in the Bills game. The Bengals got lucky in the Titans game.
To some extent, yeah, for sure.
The Chiefs straight up deserved that win against the Bengals.
Yeah, both teams could have won. I'd be happy for both teams. That's how fun of a game it was. It was both teams deserved to win. That's how sad it was.
So we're both saying Chiefs by 7 or more. If you had to go straight spread, would you say they cover the 7?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I think I would too. I would. But if you're gonna do anything in this game, I would wait until right before kickoff, see where the sharp money's at, and then go on that side. Because
exactly.
I really don't hate Bengals plus 7, especially if I see sharp money's on that side as well.
Especially with how terrible that defense has been against the pass too.
Exactly. I feel like we could see Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, or any of these guys go off for a big game.
Go off, bro. Multiple times. I mean, bro, 4 offensive touchdowns for a Bills wide receiver. Bro.
They're not even there. Not Stephon Diggs had 3 receptions for 7 yards.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. It's insane.
And he couldn't catch that first touchdown.
We almost had it. By the way. We were this close.
So close. All right, let's move on. Rams, Niners. The game is in LA. The Rams are -3.5. That line will probably go back down to -3 because -3.5 is at even odds. Over-unders at 46.5. Bet percentage is basically 50-50, and the money is basically 50-50, so no edge there. And same with the over-under. So it's pretty split on this game.
I hate to say it, but I'm both favorites this week. I think if I had to take both spreads, I'd take the favorite spreads on each one of this. I just don't see how I can bet the Niners against the Rams. I just don't see it.
So I do have an opportunity to hedge here with with 12-1 Niners to go to the Super Bowl. Niners are going to the Super Bowl. Niners money line, Niners plus 3.5. Why stop when you're ahead? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Grant.
Look, you guys have balled out. I balled out last week on the teaser. Like I said, this is the week of favorites for me because I think ratings-wise, they want the Chiefs-Rams. That's a good game. That's a good game for them.
I don't think I think the Niners would be just as big of ratings. Niners have a massive fan base.
Yeah, they do. But
if the Rams are blocking tickets from Niners fans to go to the Rams game.
They literally are, bro. They literally are. But watching, from an impartial standpoint, would you rather see the Chiefs versus Niners, or you'd rather see Chiefs versus
I would rather
Rams?
See Chiefs Rams from a neutral perspective. But as someone who is a diehard Niners fan for these playoffs, it's Niners money line, Niners plus 3.5, Niners to the Super Bowl, Niners to win the Super Bowl.
I love it, bro. I respect the fact that you're still.
I don't have Niners to win the Super Bowl, so I just have them to make the Super Bowl.
Look, for me to help the Niners, I have to go against them, just like I did with the Cowboys. So I'm going to stay.
And like you did with the Buccaneers and Rams.
Exactly.
What did you do on the Packers-Niners game? You went Packers, right? And on the show?
On the show, but then I went completely different with my play of the week. My biggest play of the week was literally Niners and Bengals teaser. Although
we were all over the Bengals, though.
Although I did say -3.5 first half was my play. I did say that, and that did hit.
There you go.
If I gave anything out, I did give out the first half Packers, and that I sat with the guy who literally had that ticket. I told him to do it, and that hit easily. They almost had 10 points. It was almost 10-0 at half. So that hit. So all I'm gonna say is that one hit for the people out there because I didn't trust the full game 5.5 spread. I said that was weird to me, and that was too many points. So I said if I'm gonna take anything, I'd take the Packers. I'd hammer the Packers first half -3.5, and that hit. So you're welcome for anyone that took that.
What about Chiefs -3.5 first half, or it's probably 4.5? You're not getting really the Bengals this week.
It's -7, right?
Yeah, so I'm guessing it's -4.5.
Oh, you're saying first half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Personally, I love that, bro.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, any
I kind of like +4.5 right there.
Bro, all I'm gonna say is I'm not going against the Chiefs. I could see why people would bet against them with the +7, but for me, bro, I can't bet against that team.
And like I said last week, I loved the Packers. I love Packers -5.5. I thought Packers was the play, but I wasn't going to do it. I'm ride or die. I'm going Niners all the way.
Look, I'm gonna ask you guys this: if anyone's listening to this podcast, if after what you just saw, where Patrick Mahomes was able to go from the 25 and kick a game-tying field goal within 10 seconds because he spiked the ball at 3, with 10 seconds, so 4 seconds less than the infamous Dak Prescott run up the middle, right?
Yep.
He did 4 seconds less, literally from the 25 to a field goal. Is anybody feeling comfortable betting against that teaser of getting them basically money line? Because they're going to be able to do whatever they can to even tie the game and then end up have a chance to win at the end. You know what I'm saying? That's why I kind of love that teaser.
The thing is, I love the Rams in this game. I think the Rams are going to win easily. Also, a famous saying in all sports, it's hard to beat a team 3 times.
Yeah, and I don't love the fact that everyone's on the Rams, which I think a lot of people are going to be. But it's hard, again, how can I look at these two teams and say, yeah, I think they're going to be able to keep pace with the Rams? I just don't see it.
But I'm going Niners money line, Niners +3.5. Brian and I are going to be winning a Super Bowl together. I mean, I've never won a Super Bowl as a Panthers fan. We've gotten, we've been in 2 rigged Super Bowls that were clearly rigged. They wanted Brady to win one, and they wanted Peyton Manning to win his last game ever. Clearly,
True.
We got screwed into 2 rigged Super Bowls. So I want to win a Super Bowl. The Niners are the play.
Yeah, I'm thinking about to help you guys out. I'm thinking about putting a future on the Super Bowl for the Chiefs to win and the Super Bowl for the Rams to win. That way, you guys are. Just
I was gonna mention that on here. That was actually what I was gonna talk about next. That's a great idea.
I honestly think it's a very spicy play, bro.
Because they're both plus odds, right?
They have to be at this point, right? Because they're still not in the Super Bowl themselves. So I think if you bet both the favorites, I feel like you're gonna win one of those.
Let's see here. Futures. NFL Championship. Chiefs +125, Rams +210, Niners +450 to win the Super Bowl, and Bengals +800 to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love those plays.
I mean, let's just say you put 100 on the Chiefs and you put 100 on the Rams. Worst comes to worst, I think you're winning $25.
Yeah, you're making money. That's I almost want to put 1,000 on a piece on them, and then just live with the $250, or you would basically make 1,010. Yeah,
1,000 or $1,100.
Yeah, or $1,100. So I don't know, man. I kind of love that play. Obviously, if either one of the Bengals or the Niners win it, then you're boned. But I kind of love that play.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're gonna do it, I think just take both sides, and I don't think you can lose.
Yeah, at that point, you're I'm kind of loving where I'm at.
So you think it's gonna be Rams Chiefs Super Bowl?
I do, yeah.
I think it will be as well, but I can't.
But you don't.
Pick
you
them.
think it's Chiefs Niners. You think it's Chiefs Niners. I got you.
No, yeah, it's always been Chiefs Niners.
It's always been Chiefs Niners, exactly.
But man, dude, after watching Von Miller and Aaron Donald just destroy that Buccaneers offensive line, I would be terrified of the Niners or the Rams. Sorry.
I know. It's hard for me. It's upset. I just can't bet against these two
They're
teams.
going, and you're going against probably the best receiver in football right now in Cooper Kupp. Odell's finally playing like his normal self again. The only issue with the Rams that scares me, their run game kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's not great. That's true. It's not great.
But if I was going to take a future on any of these, it would be the Rams plus 210.
Yeah, I think you're right. I kind of love that play, bro. I might have to put some money down on each one of those actually and just live with the consequences of, whatever happens.
All right. Well, anything else in the NFL? I think that's about it.
No, man, just a super fun weekend. Hopefully we get something similar this weekend. We can only hope.
It's going to be a dead weekend.
If both favorites win, like I think they are,
it's gonna be rough. We had too good of a divisional round weekend. They're setting us up for just a 31-10 beatdown in Arrowhead, and then just a boring like 35 or not 35, just a boring like 27 to like 13 Rams win.
I mean, bro, if San Fran literally cannot score, I understand the weather was an issue, but if they couldn't score points against the Packers,
I don't know the status of Deebo Samuel. If Deebo Samuel is not 100%, or if he's in a limited capacity, the Niners are toast.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Everyone's listening to this like, oh, he just keeps flip-flopping. Like, he loves the Niners, but then he's talking about how he thinks the Rams are going to win.
He's like, the Niners team of destiny. He's saying Niners take everything. Money, which one do I take? Which ticket do I go with? I'm so confused.
Niners to win it all.
That's his final answer. All I'm going to say is if you want to make free money this week, in my opinion, this is not financial advice, but I think it's that teaser between the two favorites. I think if you did the two favorite teaser, I think that's a pretty money play.
See, does it scare you that first week of the playoffs, you're like, oh, I love the -3 favorite Cowboys, loss. Oh, I love -3 favorite Buccaneers, loss. Oh, I love -3 favorite Rams.
I mean, no, because
I guess you could say it's the other side. It's kind of due for a win.
Exactly. Got to stay consistent, right? I mean, that line is weird, but I mean, I don't know, man. I think here's the thing. Anything can happen, obviously, but the Niners have had a lot of weird lucky breaks in both these games, and they're going to need a lot against the Rams, which could happen. They could have some weird punt blocks again and picks that, Stafford throws because he reverts back to his weird, like, midseason form when he was, like, throwing picks all the time. Like, that could definitely happen. And, like, Fred Warner's a beast. I'm not saying they don't have a chance to win this game. I just think a safe bet, if you're wanting to have action on both games, just bet the teaser on both favorites.
All right, so that's it in the NFL. Do you have anything in college football other than kind of like weird recruiting stuff?
No, but for all the outlets that are only saying Jackson Dart can go to Ole Miss or Oklahoma, they might be in for a rude awakening if he commits to BYU. I'm just saying, keep an eye open for that to happen, right? Everyone's kind of calling it out like it's not even a possibility. I don't know, man. I think it's a very real possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but don't be surprised if he commits to the Cougs. All
right, well, Jackson Dart to BYU. Let's make it happen. Come on, Kalani. What are you doing out here?
Yeah.
All right.
What CarterCast NIL deal do we need to send his way, dude?
So, yeah, let me text Jackson Dart right now. Hey, Siri, text Jackson Dart. But that'll do it from us. Make sure to check out the YouTube page, CarterCast. Go like, subscribe to all the videos. Check us out on TikTok at CarterCast, CarterCast.com. We'll be out very soon, very soon. And then for BYU fans out there, Grant and I have something special coming up for y'all coming soon as well. A lot of stuff in the works. Grant, we'll do this next week. We know the Super Bowl. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped to cover our Rams/Chiefs Super Bowl or Niners Team of Destiny /Chiefs/ who knows, man. But I'm going favorites. You're going Chiefs, Niners. You've locked it in. I've locked it in. Let's see what happens.
All right. We will see y'all for our NBA, our college basketball recap show. We have an interview coming on that one as well. So we will see y'all Friday. Bye.